In this installment, we're going to be going over the NBA bets for Sunday, March 31st. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our Sunday, March 31st NBA slate we got going on. But before I deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetShetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91, and don't forget about the Patreon. Right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel, and we're currently at 2.96 thousand subscribers. The goal is 5K. We're jumping from 3. The goal is 5K. Let's see how fast we can get there. Guys, if you're already subscribed, continue to like and comment. You guys are doing a great job at that. That helps the YouTube algorithm reach a broader audience. All right, so continue to do so I can continue to bring this free content to you guys, and we're smashing it. All right, if you're not subscribed, join the crew on YouTube, on Patreon, and click that subscribe button right now. Join the community. It is beautiful over there, and you will not miss out. All right. Now, for the Patreon, right now we do have some baseball plays. So far, we've been killing it. Right now, I'm waiting on 2 games. I'm waiting on the Astros games and the Dodgers games, but we are 5 out of 7 right now on the Saturday slate. 5 out of 7. Tigers, Orioles, Braves, Twins, Pirates, all those came through. So if you want winning plays, sign up for that Patreon right now. That link is provided down below. First game we got going on the slate will be Cleveland Cavaliers, 45-29, going up against the Denver Nuggets, who are 51-23. Looking at the current odds right now, you can get the Denver Nuggets at home at a -200, with the comeback on the Cleveland Cavaliers at a +165. The current spread is at a 5.5, and the total is 211.5. All right, for the public bet percentage, we have 90% of the bets, 97% of the money towards the Nuggets. For the point spread, we have 64% of the bets and 69% of the money towards Nuggets to cover. The current total right now at 211, it's 92% of the bets and 91% of the money towards the over 211.5. For the injury report, it's mainly on the Cleveland side of things. We have Q tags on Caris LeVert. We have Q tags on Craig Porter and Dean Wade. All those guys are questionable. Donovan Mitchell came back from his week hiatus with the nasal fracture. He came back in the previous game. He's going to be fine for this one against the Nuggets. All right. For the Nuggets injury report, we're just waiting on news about Jamal Murray. He's been out the last couple games, and they played poorly without him. All right. So hopefully he can get back in this one, and we'll see what happens. But definitely stay tuned to news, especially on Jamal Murray. All right. Jokic needs his Robin. All right. Now, these two teams have already played. And that was in Cleveland. That was earlier in the season. That total was 220, and that was a Cleveland win. So this is their second and final matchup here. And if we're looking at the recent games, both teams have been middling. All right, Cavs been struggling because they didn't have Donovan Mitchell, and then Nuggets have been struggling the last 2 games because they didn't have Jamal Murray. All right, they lost their last 2 games to Phoenix and Minnesota. Those are top tier talents in the West. Cleveland is still trying to get things together because they're just getting their number 1 guy back. All right, so where are we going to lean in this particular game? If we're looking at against the spread numbers, Cavs are basically 500 against the spread. They're 17-17 away against the spread, and as underdogs, they are 10-12 as underdogs, so under 500 against the spread. But on the other hand, Nuggets at home against the spread are 18-16, so they're above 500, and as favorites for the entire season, they're 28-32 as favorites against the spread. So I'm looking at this. Nuggets are struggling. They lost their last 2 games. I'm going to be taking the Nuggets on the money line. I'm going to be taking Nuggets to spread to cover that spread at 5.5. And if we're going with the total here, I'm going to go with the over 211. I think this is a little bit too cheap. This is way too low here, 211. I was expecting around 220. That's a normal total for the Denver Nuggets. Donovan Mitchell is back for Cleveland. I get it. The Nuggets have been struggling without Jamal Murray, but this is a team that can still put up points without him. Reggie Jackson can fill in and put up points as well. Michael Porter Jr. can get hot. There's a number of guys here. So over 211, and give me the Nuggets to bounce back on the money line, and I like them to cover that 5.5 as well. Next game up, we have a Southeast Division battle here between the Miami Heat, who are 40-33, going up against the Washington Wizards, who are 14-60. Looking at the current odds right now, you can get the road favorites here in Miami Heat on the money line at a -550, with the comeback of the Washington Wizards at a +400. The current spread right now is a 10.5 on both sides, and the total is set at 216.5. Looking at the current public bet percentage, 96% of the bets, 74% of the money towards the Heat to win. For the point spread, 69% of the bets, 63% of the money towards Washington to cover. And for the total, 85% and 86% of the money towards the over 216.5. All right. For the injury report, the Miami Heat, Nikola Jovic and Duncan Robinson are going to be probable for this game. Caleb Martin will be out for this game. And for the Wizards, we're waiting on news for Kyle Kuzma and Rashawn Holmes. Both of those guys are questionable for the game on Sunday, all right? These two teams have already played 3 times already, with Miami winning 2 out of the 3 games, all right? The first total was a 235. The second total was a 212, and the third total was 218, okay? So this is the fourth and final matchup between the Washington Wizards and the Miami Heat here. Looking at some numbers, what's really pulling me towards the Miami Heat, obviously that performance that they had previously, beating the Trailblazers by 60 points. You can tell that Miami Heat is gearing up for the playoff push here, trying to solidify themselves as a 7 or 6 seed. They're trying to keep winning, so they don't have another team come up, and in general, so they can move up and possibly face the hampered Cleveland Cavaliers. So I think that's a better matchup than going against the Milwaukee Bucks. So you're going to keep seeing Miami Heat play hard, right? So looking at against the spread numbers, the Heat on the road are 21-15 against the spread. So that's a phenomenal number there. We're going to go clean sweep. Give me the money line of Miami Heat. Give me Miami Heat to cover the spread. It's at 10.5. I like the 9.5, so I'll bump it down 1 point. And for this particular game, I'm going to go with the under 216.5. If we're looking at against the spread numbers, overs and unders, as road favorites, the Miami Heat are 3-10 towards the under. All right, 3 overs towards the 10 under. So definitely love that number there. And even the Wizards, as home underdogs, they're 13-15 towards the under. So both trends toward the under. You expect Miami Heat to control pace and play tight defense. That's why I'm liking the under as well. All right, let's go on to the next game. Next up, we have an East versus West matchup here. LA Clippers, 46-27, going up against the Charlotte Hornets, who are 18-55. Looking at the current odds here, Clippers are road favorites, big road favorites here. They're -1600 on the money line, with the Charlotte Hornets coming back at a +900. Hefty price there. For the point spread, 15.5 on both sides, with the total currently at 215.5. Looking at the public bet percentage, 90% of the bets and 55% of the money towards the Clippers to win. For the point spread, 65% of the bets, 68% of the money towards Charlotte to cover this huge spread. And for the total, 87% of the bets, 89% of the money towards the over 215.5. All right. For the injury report here, it's mainly on the Charlotte Hornets side. Alexei is currently questionable with an illness. We got to wait on news if he's going to be able to play. And then Seth Curry and Cody Martin are out for the year. So you don't need to worry about them. They're done for the season. These two teams have already played once. And that was in December. That was a 9-point win by the Clippers there. So second and final matchup here between the Charlotte Hornets and the Clippers. Looking at their last 5, Clippers have been very up and down and mediocre, losing to Philadelphia, losing to Indianapolis. They got lucky against Philly and then scraped by Orlando. But this is a team here in Charlotte that you really cannot trust at all. They haven't proven anything. They didn't come through for you against the Warriors in the previous game, and they played hard in that first half. So we're going to go with, obviously, we need to find value. Minus 2,000 is ridiculous. So I like the minus 9.5 for the Clippers. I want to bump it down. 15 is a very odd and weird number. You can also take the first half spread for the Clippers. Take that. That's probably going to be around 9 to 10 points in that first half spread. If you want to go with that, you can take first quarter spread as well. Get creative to find value in this type of a game environment where it's just a clear blowout. If not, then we're going to take the total and give me the over 215.5 for the total in this game between the Clippers and the Hornets. Another East-West battle here. LA Lakers, 41-33, going up against the Brooklyn Nets, who are 29-45. Looking at the current odds, you can get the Lakers at a nice number here, minus 225 as road favorites here, with the comeback on the Brooklyn Nets at a plus 180. Current point spread is at 5.5, and the total is at 224.5. All right, for the public bet percentage here, 91% of the bets, 99% of the money towards the Lakers to win. For the point spread, 67% of the bets and 70% of the money towards the Lakers to cover. And for the total, 89% of the bets, 89% of the money towards the over 224.5. For the injury report here, the Lakers, it's the same injury report day in and day out. AD and LeBron are questionable, but they are going to play. And for the Brooklyn Nets, we have some news here. Dennis Smith Jr. is probable. Cam Johnson is questionable. So you got to wait on news for one of the Nets' better three-point shooters here, if he's going to play or not in this particular game. These two teams have already played once already, and that was in January. That was a blowout win by Brooklyn, and that total was 242 in that game, blowout win by the Nets. In the recent games, Lakers are hot, winning the 4 out of the last 5 games, and Nets they're on a winning streak. They're a 3-game winning streak now, beating Toronto, beating Washington, and beating the inconsistent Chicago Bulls. All right, so you got 2 hot teams here in this game environment. You do have the revenge narrative on the Lakers side, so I'm liking the Lakers in this particular game here on the money line at a minus 225. And for the spread, I'm going to be leaning towards the Nets to cover the spread. It might go higher once once it gets to tomorrow, gets close to that game, we probably might see a 6, 6.5, maybe even a 7. So I'm going to be going with the Nets with the points on the point spread. Just because against the spread numbers as away favorites, the Lakers are 3-9. All right, they're not good at covering spreads on the road. And for the Nets at home, they're 18-14 against the spread at home. So those are the reasons why I'm leaning towards the Nets to cover but lose. All right, so give me the money line of the Lakers. Give me the Nets to cover the spread at 5.5. And give me the over 224.5. Lakers run up the pace. They control the narrative. That's why you saw that previous game at 242. You're getting a total at 224. There's not an issue in Lakers games. All right, Lakers games for the majority are going towards the over. 40-32 towards the over this year in Lakers games. So like the over as well. Next up, OKC Thunder, currently 51-22, going up against the New York Knicks here, who are 44-29. Looking at the current odds, you can get the Knicks at home as favorites at a minus 145 on the money line, with the get back of the OKC Thunder at a plus 120. The current spread is at a 2.5 on both sides, with the total at 215.5. All right, for the public bet percentage, 75% of the bets, 98% of the money towards the Knicks to win, 62% of the bets, 83% of the money towards Thunder to cover, and for the total, 88% of the bets, 96% of the money towards the over 215.5. For the injury report, OKC Thunder will be without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander yet again. This will be the 3rd game he's out. They're probably resting him for the playoff push. Even though it says quad, they're resting him. All right. So for the New York Knicks, we have some good news here. Isaiah Hartenstein and Alec Burks are going to be probable in this game. So it's looking like it's as close as healthy as you can get for the New York Knicks as of right now. These two teams have already played in December. That was a 9-point win by the OKC Thunder. That total was 249. All right. Now, this is a team here without their floor general in SGA. They have been playing good. They at least been scoring. They scored 128 against Phoenix and 126 against Houston. And then the Knicks are coming off a loss against the San Antonio Spurs. They're coming back home to face the OKC Thunder in this game. You do got revenge narrative here. Knicks already lost to the Thunder. Now they're back home. And you get the plus that SGA is going to be out of this game. I'm going to be going with the strong home team here against the spread. Knicks are 25-15 at home against the spread covering. And as home favorites, they're 16-11 as home favorites against the spread. So I'll give me the money line of the Knicks to bounce back. Give me the spread at -2.5. But give me the under in this game. So against the spread for the over-under, the Knicks are 9-18 towards the under as home favorites, and as away underdogs, the Thunder are 5-7 towards the under. So both of those figures towards the under. Give me the under in this game. I expect the Knicks to put their defense on full force against the hampered Thunder and pull away from this team, and that's a full sweep there. Money line, spread, and the under 215.5. Next up, we have the Golden State Warriors, who are 39-34, fighting to stay in that play-in race. They have the Houston Rockets on their heels, going up against the San Antonio Spurs, who are 18-56. Looking at the current odds here, Golden State Warriors on the money line at a -350, with the comeback of the Spurs at a +280. Current point spread right now is a 8.5 on both sides, with the total at 227.5. Okay. So for the public bet percentage, 91% of the bets, 96% of the money towards the Golden State Warriors to win. For the point spread, 54% of the bets, 56% of the money towards San Antonio Spurs to cover. And the total points here, 73% of the bets, 73% of the money towards the over 227.5. All right, so for these two teams here, we're waiting on news for Klay Thompson and Jonathan Kuminga. Both of those guys are questionable as of right now. And for the San Antonio Spurs, they're going to be missing two major guys, no Keldon Johnson and no Jeremy Sochan. So those are two starters there. They're going to be without for the San Antonio Spurs. Victor Wembanyama is fine. Obviously, he's been playing phenomenally as of late to solidify his Rookie of the Year. All right, so these two teams have already played 3 times. Warriors have beaten the Spurs 2 out of 3 times. The first game was a total of 230. The second game was a total of 239. The third game was a total of 214. And this is the fourth and final matchup between these two. Warriors are on a 3-game winning streak, and the Spurs are on a 3-game winning streak. But this is a game without Sochan and without Keldon Johnson. Okay, those are two major factors there. And you got the Warriors at one of the strongest teams in the league on the road, okay? 23-11 against the spread away. As away favorites, they are 13-4 against the spread. So that's phenomenal there. So I'm going to be going with a clean sweep. Give me the Warriors on the money line. Give me Warriors to cover this 8.5. A lot of people are going to be thinking that the Spurs could cover because of what they saw in their previous game against the Knicks. But I think that's going to be a different environment here. And give me the under 227.5. Give me the under in this particular matchup here. A lot of the games have been very close around this number, around that 230, 227 range. The previous game was at 214. You're getting a little bit of leeway there. Give me the under 227 in this particular game. Let's go on to the next game. We have the Chicago Bulls going against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Bulls are 35-39. Minnesota Timberwolves are 51-22. Looking at the current odds, you can get the Timberwolves on the money line at a -375, with the comeback of the Chicago Bulls at a +290. The point spread right now is at an 8.5 on both sides, and the total is at 212.5. All right, looking at the public bet percentage, 92% of the money. 92% of the bets, 82% of the money towards the Timberwolves to win. For the point spread, 58% of the bets and money towards Timberwolves to cover. And for the total, 89% of the bets, 95% of the money towards the over 212.5. For the Chicago Bulls injury report, we're waiting on news for Alex Caruso and Ayo Dosunmu. They're both questionable, waiting on news for them to play, okay? If they're going to play or not. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, you got Q tags on Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert, so stay tuned to news. That's why I have that link down below for RotoWire so you can stay tuned to up-to-date news if these guys are in or out, because it can be very crucial, especially with spreads. Very crucial if these guys are going to play or not. All right, these two teams have already played in Chicago. That was a 6-point win for the Bulls in overtime, and that total was 252. Bulls have been struggling the past 4 out of the last 5 games with losses, and the Timberwolves are on a 4-game winning streak. So we got two opposites here. Obviously, things can be swayed with injury news with Rudy Gobert and or Anthony Edwards. I think I'm going to go with the money line of the Timberwolves. Keep it safe there. For the point spread, I get it. Chicago Bulls are very bad, but they are a very Jekyll and Hyde team. They come out of nowhere. They might come back and cover the spread. So give me the plus 8.5. I'll take the points with the Bulls here. And with the over-under, give me the over 212.5. I think that's my favorite number. If I'm choosing either money line or total, it's between those two. I do like this over 212.5 in this particular matchup. Let's move on to the next. Next game up, we have a Texas matchup here. Dallas Mavericks, 44-29, going up against the Houston Rockets, who are 38-35. Huge matchup here. This is a pick'em game. Looking at the current odds, Mavericks on the money line at a -115, with the Rockets on the comeback at a -105. Point spread is a 1.5. That is a pick'em, guys. All right, for the total is set at 230.5. All right, so pretty high total here between these two teams. For the public bet percentage, 76% of the bets, 81% of the money towards Dallas Mavericks. For the point spread, 68% of the bets, 69% of the money towards Dallas to cover. And for the total, 58% of the bets, but 54% of the money. So it's split. So bets, 58% of the money towards the over, and for the money, 54% of that is towards the under. All right. For the injury report, right now, we're waiting on Luka Doncic. He is currently questionable. He's most likely going to play, but stay tuned to news. If he's out, obviously, got to reevaluate things. But, hey, Rockets are without Alperen Sengun, one of their best players. They're without Cam Whitmore and Tyree Eason. But this team has been on a long winning streak here, winning 11 in a row, all right? 11 in a row for the Houston Rockets. So a phenomenal win streak there. And say, hey, don't slouch on the Dallas Mavericks. They're on a 6-game winning streak, so they're putting up solid numbers as well. All right, someone has to lose here. These two teams have already played twice. They're going to face 2 more times. The first game was a total of 236, and the second game was a total of 218. All right, so the Battle of Texas here. Both teams on big winning streaks. I'm going to be going with the I can't even say hotter team. I'm going to be going with the more motivated team. If Luka Doncic plays in this game, they're reversing what they did last year, and they had a horrible losing streak. They're going to play hard into the playoffs. Give me the Dallas Mavericks on the money line. They're proving a point right now. What they did in their previous matchups in the last 2 games, beating the Kings, they're showing up and showing out. I'm very impressed how they're playing right now, getting themselves ready for the playoffs. So give me the Dallas Mavericks on the money line. Obviously, if you want to take the spread, take that 1.5, but just take the money line. And if we're going with the over under 230.5, both of these teams are going to be putting up points. Give me the over 230.5 in this particular game. Second to last game, Utah Jazz here, 29-45, going against the Sacramento Kings, who are 42-31. Both of these teams are hampered. I'm telling you that right now. Looking at the current odds, Kings are -800 on the money line with the comeback of the Utah Jazz at +550. Current spread right now is at a 12.5. All right. Total right now is at 224.5. For the public bet percentage, 95% of the bets, 80% of the money towards the Kings money line. For the point spread, 52% of the bets, 58% of the money towards the Kings to cover. And for the total, 76% of the money and 76% of the bets and 77% of the money towards the over 224.5. For the injury news, for the Utah Jazz, Lauri Markkanen out for the year. Jordan Clarkson is out as well, and John Collins is questionable. So the only guy you're waiting on news for is John Collins. For the Sacramento Kings, Kevin Huerter has been out for a while, and Malik Monk will miss the year, okay? He's going to be out for a significant amount of time with that MCL sprain, okay? for these two teams. They have played each other twice already, both games going towards the Sacramento Kings. The first game was a total of 244, and the second total was a total of 229. Okay, both of those are blowouts. So the Utah Jazz are struggling as of right now. They're on an 8-game losing streak. That's probably going to continue. The Kings were embarrassed by Dallas in back-to-back games, getting swept at home against Dallas. So they're coming in a situation where they need a win. They're motivated. They've been falling in the standings right now in that Western Conference. The Lakers are creeping up on them. So I'm going to go with a full sweep of the Sacramento Kings here. Give me the Kings money line. Give me the Kings to cover the 12.5. But I'm going to give you the minus 9.5. If you want to take better odds, I like Kings first half spread. I like Kings first quarter spread. I think they're going to come out and really put the pedal to the metal in this particular game and give me the over 224.5. Both of these teams can put up points even without Lauri Markkanen. Kings, we already know they're throwing up threes at a very high rate as well. So that's a clean sweep on the Sacramento Kings. Last but not least, we have the Philadelphia 76ers, who are 39-35, going up against the Toronto Raptors here, 23-50. Looking at the 76ers and this the odds here, minus 650 on the money line for the 76ers, with the comeback of the Raptors at a plus 450. The current point spread is at a 10.5, and the current total is at 218.5. All right, for the public bet percentage here, 91% of the bets is on the 76ers, but 64% of the money is going to be on Toronto Raptors. All right, so people trying to cash in some big tickets there, or straight up money lines. For the point spread, we have 55% of the bets, 59% of the money towards the cover of the Toronto Raptors at plus 10.5. And for the total, we have 84% of the bets, 83% of the money towards the over 218.5. For these two particular teams here, 76ers, no one of significant is out. Obviously, Joel Embiid is out. He's going to be soon to return, very soon. He's already practicing, so that's positive news for the 76ers. For the Toronto Raptors, Emmanuel Quickley is out. Ochai Agbe is out. And we're waiting on news on RJ Barrett. He's currently questionable. This would be his first game back from the death of his brother. So wait on news if RJ Barrett is going to be able to play in this one. All right, that's the only guy here that's of significance for the Toronto Raptors. Other than that, they have been on a big downturn. All right, these two teams have already played 3 times already, and in all 3 of those games, it's been Philadelphia wins. Okay, they have dominated the Raptors this year. The totals for these games, first one was 221, the second one was 213, and the third one was 232. This is the 4th and final matchup here. As you can see, Toronto Raptors have been losing on a very long losing streak here. So have the 76ers. 3-game losing streak for the 76ers. So this is not a revenge spot, but this is a motivation spot here. Get back in the winning ways here for the 76ers. I like them on the money line, obviously. I like them on the point spread as well. I'm going to be giving out a minus 9.5. You can take the 10. Just give me that minus 9.5. And for the over-under, I'm going to lean towards the over 218.5. All right. My question is going to be the Raptors putting up points. If RJ Barrett is in, I feel a little bit more confident in them. But looking at the previous games, at least the Toronto Raptors have been able to get over that 100-point mark 2 out of the 3 times. 99 is pretty much 100. So we'll take that one as well. So we're going to go with the full sweep. Give me the 76ers on the money line, 76ers to cover, and the over 218.5. So for this particular video, that's it. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Guys, if you want to support down low, go in that comment section. Let me know if there's any other game that I didn't talk about, any other props, any other angle I didn't go over. Let me know in that comment section down below, and I'll be back with another video very soon. All right, peace out.